When I was 28, I got a new assistant who had been a lifelong Lutheran. I had not been a lifelong Lutheran, and I knew nothing about the liturgical calendar, to her great chagrin. And Norma taught me repeatedly, sometimes painstakingly, about the value of the church year. That's what the liturgical calendar is. It's a system of feasts and festivals, decorations and teachings that authenticate the movement of the church through the life of Christ, sort of living the life of Christ again, or after he has, going through the Gospels and all the Old Testament precedents. Well, I loved the idea, actually, that there was a way for us to stay rooted in the Scriptures, that the calendar mattered, that there were feast days and saints' days and different moments. The problem is that the liturgical calendar is really designed for people who are steeped in liturgical tradition. And that number, at least in the Western world, is shrinking and shrinking rapidly. And as it does, the liturgical calendar holds less promise and less power for people of faith, and particularly for people of no faith. All that to say, it's like a secret society that nobody cares about and nobody goes to anymore. Now, if you're in a liturgical tradition, you probably want to kill me right now for saying that, but just hang on, because I don't want to do away with it. I want to reclaim it. I want to revitalize it. But I think the way we need to do that is looking at the dates that are on our calendar that already matter to our culture and figuring out what the gospel is and what the scriptures have to say and what the Spirit intends to do in our world that functions like this. So, for example, the liturgical calendar makes a big deal out of All Saints' Day on November the 1st. It's a commemoration of all the holy people who have gone before us. Fantastic. That's so cool. Nobody outside of our churches cares about All Saints' Day. In fact, most of the people in our churches don't care about All Saints' Day. They really care about Halloween. Next to Christmas, in the United States and Canada, Halloween is the biggest holiday of the year in terms of money spent and in terms of community activity. And yet most churches don't want to do anything with Halloween. We think it's demonic or satanic or whatever. And of course, I get why there's reasons for that. But what we do instead is we create like a fake Halloween for churches, like a harvest festival. And so we hold secret gatherings where kids dress up in like Martin Luther costumes and pass out apples. And the point is that those kind of behaviors actually don't serve the church, and they certainly don't serve to heal the world because they're escapist, retreatist behaviors. And so when I think about how we look at the church year and what our churches are going to do and what we want our people to do, what we want is to help them put feet to their faith. We want to help them live missionally. We want to help them live incarnationally. We want to help them live relationally. So a better example of how we would run a liturgical calendar would be to include Halloween instead of, or maybe at least in addition to, All Saints' Day. Don't call it Harvest Festival, call it Halloween, because that's what everybody else calls it. That's what everybody else is thinking about. That's what everybody else is doing. And if we have to adjust our practices in order to appropriately differentiate ourselves from the world, that's great. Let us reclaim Halloween, and let's never forget that once upon a time, Christmas wasn't a Christian holiday. It was a pagan worship festival, Saturnalia, and we stole it from them. Let's steal Halloween. Let's keep calling it Halloween, but let's do something different with it. Maybe instead of having all of our people run and hide at our church, we could take our church and shove them out into the world and equip them to bless the kids in their neighborhood. Maybe we could provide free security. Maybe we could throw the biggest parties. Maybe we could give away the biggest bags of candy. Whatever. But rather than hiding to have our own Christian Halloween, we could push our people out into the world to reclaim Halloween for Christ and incarnate the goodness of God in the world. And that's just a simple example of what I mean by an overall church pedagogy. We look around at what's happening, we think about what we're teaching in the churches, and then we look for times and seasons and spaces of resonance where what we're teaching in can be pushed out with our people in a way that the people out there already care about.